mental health is super important because I have cousins and family and friends and everybody.
आजको विषय चाहिँ हाम्रो मेन्टल हेल्थ एन्ड इस्यु अनि आज मसँग हुनुहुन्छ छादनी लामा अनि सुस्मिना जी अनि आज यो मेन्टल हेल्थको विषयमा आज डिस्कस गर्न गइरहेका छौँ त्यसभन्दा पहिला चाहिँ आज हाम्रो रिसेन्टली चाँदनी लामाले एउटा बुक पब्लिस गर्नुभएको छ रिसेन्टली लास्ट विक आई थिङ्क सो यसको बारेमा थोरै भनिदिनु न
Namaste sabajana. I'm so glad to be here again. Thank you, Monas, for inviting me. And yeah, I just wrote the book. It's been 2 days that I did a virtual launch. And this is the book. I'm like, again, I have this difficulties with this thing. Hold on a second. So yeah, this is the book.
Okay.
Maps of Culture. And it's a hardcover. It's so good. I think I mean Nepali is like the way proud because of the quality of the book that we have been able to produce.
There is no actual data for mental health issue बारेमा डिफ्रेन्ट गुगल सर्च गर्दाखेरि मैले डिफ्रेन्ट कोहीमा कति भनेको छ कोहीमा कति भनेको छैन अनि मैले एक्ज्याक्ट भेटाउन पाएन तर ओभरअल गर्दाखेरि 20% चाहिँ एफेक्टेड 20% वर्ल्ड वाइड त्यसमा 20% चाहिँ एफेक्टेड रहेछ मेन्टल प्रब्लम अनि यो मेन्टल हेल्थ इस्यु पनि डिफ्रेन्ट टाइपको हुँदो रहेछ मोस्टली चाहिँ मान्छेहरू डिप्रेसन त्यो एउटा डिप्रेसन वान अफ द बिग रहेछ अनि त्यसमा चाहिँ अरू फ्याक्टरहरू पनि हुँदो रहेछ अनि त्यही हो अनि हजुर अनि जेन्डरमा चाहिँ फिमेल मोर इम्प्याक्टेड मेल भन्दा अनि एज रेन्ज चाहिँ त्यही as I found 24 to 49 mostly.
Okay. Mental health is super important because I have cousins and family and friends and everybody who are, from like little kids all the way to the older generation who are still at risk, So that's why I got super interested and kind of got into it just to kind of keep an eye out on my own loved ones and make sure that somehow they have the knowledge that somebody's there to listen. I might not be able to solve their problems, but at least an outlet, a safe outlet. And I think I've spoken to a couple of people, and that was the big issue, is a lot of people don't really open up about their real deep issues, which eventually leads them down this path. Like, but मलाई केही प्रब्लम भइरहेको छ भने I'm okay discussing it with people. But of course, if I'm, in a very depressed stage where I'm, having suicidal thoughts, I don't know, honestly, if I would be able to, like, walk up to my parent or walk up to my sibling or someone that I'm very close to because I would think I'm burdening them with that, right? So I think that's if you make it okay to talk about it, and if they can't with their immediate family or their immediate circle, like have a platform where they can talk about it with someone else that's still safe and still confidential, if that makes any sense.
म चाहिँ मेरील्यान्डमा बसिरहेको थिएँ होइन and I think me and my friends, we were going through depression, although we were not diagnosed. तर कस्तो प्याटर्न भइरहेको थियो भने खाने सुत्ने भइरहेको थियो कि एन्ड देन म त आई डोन्ट नो एङ्जाइटी कहिले चाहिँ एकदमै धेरै एङ्जाइटी हुने अनि कहिले चाहिँ एकदमै केही पनि गर्न नमलाग्ने त्यस्तो भइरहेको थियो कि मेरील्यान्डमा होइन अनि म एकदम वेट गेन भएको थियो कि मेरो अनि त्यसपछि नि आई जस्ट thought this is not me. मैले एक दिन चाहिँ ऐनामा हेरेँ कि आफूलाई होइन what the hell is happening to me? I couldn't recognize myself and then I have to get this fixed and then I have to get myself together भनेर चाहिँ अनि I kind of thought what is my purpose in life भनेर चाहिँ अलिकति more आफूलाई हुन्छ नि अलिकति aware गरेर trying to find out ways and stuff आफ्नो purpose to त्यो खोज्न थालेपछि चाहिँ बल्ल मैले चाहिँ हुन्छ नि I wanted to be a storyteller. मेरो the reason that I came to States was to be a storyteller कि अनि त्यसबाट चाहिँ नि मैले चाहिँ ओ माई गड आई क्यानट गिभ अप माई होप भनेर चाहिँ नि अलिकता आफूले आफूलाई बेटर गरेर बुकहरू पढेर अलिकति हुन्छ नि त्यो 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 माइन्ड सेट गरेर बल्ल अनि यता वेस्ट कोस्ट आएर चाहिँ हुन त यता पनि इट्स नट रियली ग्रेट होइन तर एउटा यो मेरो बुक लेख्नलाई मैले एउटा आफ्नो एम राखेँ होइन त्यही कुराले चाहिँ मलाई अहिलेसम्म यो फर द पास्ट 2 years आफ्टर कमिङ फ्रम मेरिल्यान्डले चाहिँ इट्स किप अन गोइङ हुन्छ नि त्यसले चाहिँ मलाई अझै पनि मोटिभेट गरिरहेको छ कि इट्स पुसिङ मी कि इफ यो नभएको चाहिँ मलाई आई डोन्ट नो ओ माई गड इभन टाइम टु टाइम आई फिल सो अलोन फर रियल लाइक हुन्छ नि अनि कति कुराहरू आउँछ कि मनमा अब त्यो बहिनीहरू दिदी होस् होइन ऊ त फ्यामिलीसँग रहेछ होइन अझै मी एज अ एक्लै हुँदाखेरि होइन अब दिदीहरू हुनुहुन्छ तर पनि कहिलेको चाहिँ एकदमै कि आई फिल टु होम सिक म रिग्रेट कहिलेको चाहिँ रिग्रेट पनि गर्छु कि अमेरिका किन आएछु जस्तो होइन लाग्छ कि नेपालमा पनि धेरै राम्रो भइरहेको थियो जस्तो लाग्थ्यो होइन अनि कस्तो रिग्रेट फिलिङ हुन्छ कहिले कस्तो नराम्रो आइडियाजहरू आउँछ होइन तर यो यति एउटा मेरो काइन्ड अफ एउटा बच्चाको एउटा ड्रिम एउटा त्यही कुराले चाहिँ मलाई अहिलेसम्म पुस गरिरहेको छ जस्तो लाग्छ कि
I have a question. Um, you, since you mentioned you did go to counseling, who was your first counselor? Was it like, did you get a referral? Was it a school student counselor? Because there's a lot of students here.
मेरो स्टुडेन्ट काउन्सलरै थियो यस के अरे आई मिन आई क्यानट गो थ्रु अल द डिटेल्स होइन तर मेरो स्कुलबाटै
Right.
थियो अनि द फर्स्ट वान वाज अ मेल एन्ड द सेकेन्ड वान वाज अ फिमेल द फर्स्ट वान चाहिँ एकदमै एकदमै बवाल थियो युटाको युटाको मान्छे एकदमै वाज भेरी ब्रिलियन्ट गाई भनेपछि म चाहिँ भर्खर नयाँ थिएँ कि स्टेट्समा अनि पछि so many things was going on and he really helped me out.
I, I think that would be important for people to understand, especially Nepali kids here that are international students. Sometimes people don't know who to turn to. Like you said, Nepal your ambition they get here and then life gets overwhelming because there are either a lot of hurdles or they're in, trying to get there the quickest, fastest way possible, right? Nobody wants to really put in the legwork. So to know that you can go to your, that counselor at school is not just somebody who sits there and tells you, hey, your class your class your credit science. They're also a resource for, your life, sort of, as a student and beyond. So if people understand that that can be their first, step, I think it would make it a lot easier. Okay? So then they're not worried about doctor la call name my health insurance cover then I think sometimes people fall into those like those rabbit holes, and so they don't go get the help that is right in front of them. I mean, one of the good things outside of the fact that America is a huge pill pusher is that there are a lot of resources that people can access online via phone, but people just need to understand that it's out there. Okay?
त्यो एउटा फर्स्ट अफ अल त नेपालीहरूमा सेन्सै छैन कि मेन्टल हेल्थको बारेमा कुरा गर्नुपर्छ काउन्सिलिङ भनेर त्यो नै छैन अब काउन्सिलिङ थेरापीमा जाने मान्छेहरू सबैजना साइको भन्ने एउटा छ होइन त्यो चाहिँ बन्द गर्नु पर्यो कि अनि यु क्यान जस्ट टक इभन इफ यु तिमीलाई 2-3 दिन निन्द्रा नलाग्यो भने पनि यु क्यान टक टु यर थेरापिस्ट इट्स ओके त्यो एकदमै मामुली कुरा हो भनेर चाहिँ हामीले सबैजनालाई बुझाउनु पर्यो.
Right. I think that's one of the common, like you said, psycho bantha. I mean, and people someone who's going through a mental situation, if they sort of seclude themselves, are sort of turning into like a loner, they're distancing themselves from the group because the group is hurting them. Okay? So it's counterproductive all the time, and it's hard to get someone out of that shell after that happens.
That's right.
Because they're so afraid of judgment, right? And I actually see that among a lot of people. And this is not, I'm just not Nepali people. It's with just human beings. Once somebody gets shunned, it's really hard to get them out of that shell. That fear of judgment, that fear of rejection is too real. And now I think it's worse because of social media. You're so busy sort of portraying, hey, look at my life and how great it is on, Insta and on Facebook and whatever other mediums you use, that in reality, when it's not that, people are having a hard time sort of connecting and disconnecting. So, girl who committed suicide, she used to do um, upload a lot of TikTok videos. Okay, so she used to dance, and I guess she liked, doing makeup and stuff. So she was camouflaging her issues, and and I'm not a parent, so I can't talk as a parent, but as an adult, I think we sort of look at people that are under our care, whether they're older than us or younger than us, right? And we make excuses for their socially unacceptable behavior. And if if it looks like they need help, we won't talk about it either, right? So उसको parents they didn't talk about it with anybody. मेरो छोरीलाई यस्तो भइरहेछ उस्तो भइरहेछ भनेर they sheltered her instead, okay? Instead of, because as a caregiver too, you need support, right? You can't be the one solely supporting, right? Like, when somebody's sick, if somebody has a fever and you are nursing to that patient, you need sleep too, you need food too. So in that way, you'll reach out. So the mental illness, you shelter yourself with it, okay? So that you're not getting the help, you're not getting the support, and in turn, you are unable to provide that for the patient as well. So I think all of that contributed towards what she was going through.
Yeah, त्यही त मैले त्यो एउटा स्टोरी पनि सुनेको थिएँ हजुरले भन्नुभयो नि the about the girl story. She was doing TikTok, makeup and stuff. She seems like happy, right? In a real life. But अनि एउटा स्टोरी थियो कि एउटा ट्रान भन्ने अब यहाँ स्टकटन हो त्यो एकदम फलोवर टिकटकमा एकदम पपुलर त्यो केटा हो he was like 20 something 21 years old. कमेडियन हो क्या त्यो मान्छे कमेडी गर्ने सर्ट भिडियो बनाउने अनि उ गर्ने एकदम पपुलर तर उसको रियल लाइफमा चाहिँ he was totally like not happy अनि एक दिन त्यो लाइभमा आएर रोएर त्यो टिकटक लाइभमा आएको थियो अनि त्यसको लगतै he did commit suicide लाइभ होइन त त्यसपछि सुसाइड गरेछ अनि त्यही मैले त्यो भन्नु मान्छे बाहिर देख्दाखेरि ह्याप्पी देखिन्छ होइन सबै कुरा ठिक जस्तो लाग्छ तर भित्रभित्र के गइरहेछ भन्ने कुरा थाहा हुँदैन कि अनि फ्रेन्ड्सहरू प्यारेन्ट्सहरूले पनि बुझेको हुन्न कि
And I think, like I said, I wouldn't want to burden them either, like Chadani was saying, when she was going through some of these things, right, she was willing to talk about it because she took a look at herself and said she needs help on it, right? So she fortunately found the correct avenue to get that help. But if she had reached out to just one of her friends, उसको फ्रेन्डले उसलाई भन्न सक्थ्यो नि त के पनि होइन भने that's what we typically do, होइन? When people share like sort of depressing information with us, we're like के पनि होइन, you'll get over it भनेर भन्छ नि, होइन? You should let them feel it, okay? You should let them feel that sadness, because without letting them feel it, I don't think they can overcome it. भोलि आएर if I'm telling you, oh, I'm really sad today, and you're like, oh, don't be sad, you'll get over it, Bully, I'm not going to want to come and tell you that again because you'll just tell me to get over it.
अनि मैले सुने अनुसार अनि मलाई त्यति थाहा छैन यो डिटेल तर यो सुसाइड थट चाहिँ सम हुन्छ नि कति सेकेन्डमा हुन्छ अरे कि अनि त्यो सेकेन्डमा पार गरे भने चाहिँ त्यो हुन्छ नि त्यो पार गर्छ जो जान्छ अरे होइन तर त्यसमा चाहिँ आफूलाई कन्ट्रोल गर्न सकेन भने चाहिँ you know.
attempt गर्छ
Yeah, अनि त्यो ट्रु हो, त्यो सत्य हो कि
त्यो नेपालीमा भन्छ नि के अरे यस्तो के अरे 24 घण्टामा चाहिँ एउटा मोमेन्ट चाहिँ कस्तो हुन्छ नि त्यो राक्षसले लिएको हुन्छ अरे दिमाग होइन अनि त्यही मोमेन्टमा हो अरे कि त्यो मान्छेले आफूले आफूलाई कन्ट्रोल गर्न भन्छ नि त्यसमा चाहिँ नि जे पनि गर्न सक्ने भनेर भन्छ नि हो या आई नो द्याट
that sounds pretty
मलाई लाग्छ
scary
नि मलाई चाहिँ लाग्छ है त्यस्तो कहिले किनभने मलाई नि हुन्छ कहिले कहिले चाहिँ तर तर आई काइन्ड अफ क्यान relate that तर पनि we have to control कहिले आउँछ
so that just gave me a thought. So if you think about people who commit suicide, right? Most people commit suicide by hanging, shooting themselves, jumping off of bridges or buildings. They're looking for quick escapes, right? Or I don't know, consuming poison, like something like that, right? I think they want a quick escape. I don't think they want the pain threshold. People like, for lack of a better term, I'm just going to say normal people, okay? Normal people, as normal people, we don't want pain. I know it's on the paper cut, like it hurts, right? So, I mean, if you're trying to kill yourself, I think you would want something that's the least painful and the easiest way to go. So that person who, like, if I'm, I guess, thinking about committing suicide, I'd want something where I'm not going to feel the pain, because the whole purpose of me trying to commit suicide is I don't feel that pain of that burden that I'm carrying, of whatever that issue is that I'm carrying. So if I say, okay, I'm going to die and it's going to be this slow, long, lengthy process of dying, that takes a lot of effort and thought into it, then I probably wouldn't commit suicide either, right? But if I'm thinking, oh, I'm just going to shoot myself and get this over with, that's probably the easiest. So if somebody who, like that guy who tried to commit suicide and burn himself, the pain will like to, he couldn't cope with that pain anymore. So he wants to be saved now, because it's that physical pain he doesn't want to feel anymore, right? Outside of whatever political reasons he had. So, like, people who do, there's a term for it. They do that in Tibet a whole lot. It's a political statement that they're making, and they burn themselves. And they, so that's something you see in, like, statement factors. But, like, even if you think about all those mission suicide people, like in the middle, from the Middle East, when they go out and they bomb places, you sacrifice yourself, thinking you're sacrificing yourself for a higher purpose. In Taruna Lipani, they're looking for a quick escape, right? They're doing it for a certain purpose, to, I don't know, whatever they think their purpose is. But, I'm going to blow this bomb. I'm going to kill, 500 other people with me, but it's a quick one, But if I have to cut myself slowly and, I don't know, torture myself, I probably wouldn't do that either, right? So there's probably just a small window where they stop thinking, because suicide is considered a very selfish act, You're not thinking about anybody else. So you're just thinking about ending your part of the pain. So it would have to be quick. It would have to be successful during that short period of time. And if not, like...
The best understanding, दिदी तपाईले भने अनुसार यदि कसैलाई सुसाइड गर्ने त्यो चाहना इच्छा छ भने चाहिँ उसले गरेरै छोड्छ जसरी भने
I think so.
Okay.
Until and unless they receive the help. Like, so for example, in Japan, suicide rates are really high, and they have this. It's kind of sad and depressing to think about it, but they have this. It's called the Suicide Club, and they have people that meet together. They do these group suicides. They've collectively decided on a day and a date, and they, find a venue to carry out their mission. Okay.
Okay. So
in that sense, they probably continue influencing each other and saying that that is your best option moving forward instead of let's find a solution to our problem. And their motive is going to be we're going to get this done. This is our mission.
Okay, so why Japan has a higher suicide rate?
I think it's part of their culture and economy too.
Work culture, economic.
कस्तो खाले कल्चर भन्नाले अब मैले यसो
Work almost 24 hour. कोही मान्छे त they really work for 24 hours. They boss काम सकेपछि पनि बस्दा खुसी बनाउन they be staying for another 4 hours or something. घर 11-12 बजे पुगेको हुन्छ त्यसपछि नि बस्छ लेट्स गो रेस्टुरेन्ट ड्रिङ्किङ गरौँ भनेर फेरि त्यहाँ पनि गएको हुन्छ नि नमनलाई जानुपर्छ कि उहाँलाई बस्दा खुसी बनाउन
काम
त्यस्तो
नै
हुन्छ
वर्क नै होइन जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई त वर्क नै होइन जस्तो लाग्छ किनभने
वर्कै हो मस्ट चाहिँ वर्कै हुने हो अनि त्यो माथि अब केटीहरू पनि अलमोस्ट केटा जति नै काम गर्छ नि त अनि त्यही भएर त्यो डेटिङ लाइफहरू पनि छैन कि त्यता अनि रिसेन्टली न्युज आएको तिमीले सुने कि सुनेन द बर्थ रेट एकदमै कम भइसक्यो के अरे जापानिज गभर्मेन्टले त भनिसक्यो नाउ हामीले हाम्रो फ्युचरै थेक्न सक्दैन यसरी भनेर भनिसक्यो उनीहरूले बिकज देयर इज नो न्यू बेबिज बिन बोर्न टु काइन्ड अफ grow up के अरे so that they will work and make the tax money to अनि tax moneyले त बुढाबुढीहरूलाई दिन्छ नि त त्यो पेन्सनहरू त्यो हुन्छ नि त हैन अनि the amount of the babies that's been born त यति लेस कि there's no way that's gonna sustain those old people भनेर त्यस्तो भइरहेछ कि उनीहरूको ठुलो कुरा भइरहेछ तर I mean they had seen it before they should have done something हुन्छ नि they should have made it illegal to work more than त्यो भन्दा हैन अनि यत्रो वर्ष त कति 30-40-50 वर्ष त भइसक्यो त उनीहरू they've been doing great with economy तर उनीहरूको त्यो देख्दा पनि they didn't make it illegal to work more than त्यत्रो hours के
अर्लियर अघि चाँदनीले भने जस्तो अब उहाँ थेरापी जानुभयो काउन्सिलिङ गर्नुभयो जस्तै अनि सुस्मिना दिदी तपाईँले के भन्नुहुन्छ अनि त्यहाँ अब लेट्स से मलाई प्रब्लम भयो म बाहिरमा बोल्न सक्दैन अब काउन्सिलिङ जाम भने पनि आई डोन्ट हेभ कस्ट लाग्ने होला अब के भन्नु ममा डर छ होइन अब म बाहिर खुल्न सक्दैन मलाई प्यारेन्ट्सको पनि त्यति सपोर्ट छैन भनौँ अनि साथीहरूको पनि छैन अनि यस्तो सिचुएसनमा म के गर्न सक्छु कसरी हुन्छ नि म हुन्छ नि आई वान्ट हेल्प देन के गर्न सक्छु म
सुस्मिना म्यामले भन्दैनस् पहिला
So there are a lot of for people who don't have a great inner circle or support system. There are third-party support systems, and I'll just stick to suicide for now. There's suicide prevention hotlines where you're calling somebody. You can remain anonymous in it. You can talk to, and on the other line, you're talking to people who are trained counselors to help you sort of walk through. And I think it's what they need is that window just to get you over that hurdle of that window. And in addition to that, there are, churches, there are, other community centers that offer, group therapies that offer a place where you just go and join a group without having to pay into the membership, right? Without having to pay to participate. Just a safe place where, like, AA meetings. A lot of AA meetings are community sponsored, and they're for Alcoholics Anonymous, right? So these, people who are dealing with addiction or have family members who are alcoholics are going to these group sessions, these group environments, whether it's virtual or in person, in community centers, in schools, in colleges, in, religious, sites like churches and all of that, where all you need is a platform where you can voice your concern and know that there are other people there who are going through that. Okay. And sometimes I think when you know that, hey, you know what, my problem is not that big because there are other people and there is help out there, I think helps you. Just being able to vocalize it, helps you release that out of your system. So there's so many resources out there. And it's her, right? So we just need a platform where it provides that resource to people.
Okay. How about local hospital? Do they provide free counseling or free treatment?
I doubt hospitals, and the reason I say I doubt hospitals are because hospitals, if they are private, are in the business of making money, and hospitals that are government subsidized are somehow uh, sort of limited in their funding. So I doubt that they have free services. I'm sure they have services that will offer you financial assistance, but free service, and they might offer you a, you know, one class or a resource like go here, but I don't think hospitals are technically equipped to provide free services.
Mm.
But
But maybe you guys can come up with a fund, and then yeah, you guys are rich in Bay Area.
No. It's the opposite. We're poor in the Bay Area because cost of living is so high. Um, but so there's I think I mentioned his name before. His name is Pratik Pandey, and there is a counselor. I think there are three counselors in um, the South Bay. I believe they tried to do a workshop before. One of the things that was the workshop wasn't successful, and what Pratik has said was the counselors kind of figured it wouldn't be successful because culturally, right, Nepali मान्छेहरू आउँदैन to discuss their problems. On top of that, with another Nepali person, होइन? So in one way, the community needs a Nepali counselor so they can understand the nuances of the culture. But in one way, that same Nepali community, but the client पनि आउँदैन के, because they don't like. I don't want to go to a Nepali counselor because now that person, that society मा पनि oath now. They don't understand that that counselor has taken an oath, right? That they can't discuss, divulge their information to anybody, but a trust issue, back to trust issue. Our community is like just plagued with trust issues. So there has to be a way where all of this can be put together, where these counselors can come in, offer their services, and people can use these services, at a very low cost to them, but with a very high value output. Okay? There has to be a way.
There has to be a way. That's right.
One more time, can you talk about the तपाईँले मेन्सन गर्नुभएको थियो नि कलेजमा स्कुलमा प्रोभाइड गर्छ सर्भिस यस्तो भनेर त्यसको बारेमा डिटेल भनिदिनु न
अब के अरे यो पोडकास्ट हेरिरहनु भएको नेपाली स्टुडेन्टहरू हुनुहुन्छ भने चाहिँ इफ यु निड हेल्प यु क्यान जस्ट इजिली गो टु तपाईँको स्टुडेन्ट सर्भिसको काउन्सिलिङमा जानु होइन फ्री हुन्छ एकदम यु हेभ पेड फर इट तपाईँको आफ्नो कलेजको ट्युसन फिज नै त्यहाँ जोडेको हुन्छ कि त्यस्तो सर्भिसको लागि त्यो इट्स सो फ्री फर इट जतिवटा सर्च गरेर पनि इट्स फ्री फर यु अनि त्यसपछि के भन्छ अब हिन्दू बुद्धिस्ट जेसुकै हुनुहुन्छ मुसलमान जेसुकै हुनुहुन्छ होइन इफ आफू जेसुकै भए पनि चर्चहरू गएर पनि यु क्यान काइन्ड अफ डिस्ट्र्याक्ट यर ब्रेन इन्टु समथिङ पोजिटिभ के एउटा ह्याबिट बनाउने एउटा गुड ह्याबिट बनाउने राम्रो सोच्ने राम्रो सोचको कुराहरू सुन्ने राम्रो मान्छेहरूको वरिपरि गर्नु बस्ने चाहिँ त्यो गर्नुपर्छ जस्तो
I have a question for you guys. I've never really looked into it, but are there apps that offer counseling?
Yeah, there is a lot of it.
Okay.
A lot of
apps, mobile apps.
Mobile apps.
Yeah.
Never heard about it. म सुनेको छैन
धेरैवटा छ अस्ति एउटा हेरिरहेको थिएँ होइन तर यु हेभ टु पे अबाउट कति $100 भनेको थियो होइन एउटा चाहिँ $100 थियो कुनै चाहिँ त्योभन्दा पनि सस्तो पनि हुन्छ अनि एउटा चाहिँ प्रोफेसनल तिम्रो के अरे काउन्सलर थेरापिस्टसँग कुरा गरेको थियो नि अलमोस्ट $100 कति थियो कि तर फर्स्टमा चाहिँ $30 मात्रै यु हेभ टु बुक इट एन्ड आफ्टर त्यो बोलिसकेपछि चाहिँ $100 एन्ड समथिङ थियो कि I mean,
एप त हस्पिटलसँग लिङ्क भएको होला नि त हस्पिटलको एप होला नि त
होइन हस्पिटलको एप होइन यो एप मात्रै हो तर यो एपभित्र चाहिँ देयर्स यु क्यान सेलेक्ट कहिले तिम्रो टाइम एभाइलेबल छ अनि त्यो कतिवटा त्यो थेरापिस्टहरू हुन्छ नि त्यो चुज गर्ने अनि त्यसपछि यु स्केड्युल अ मिटिङ विथ देम
Okay.
ओके
तर अब यो चाहिँ अब खैरेहरूको भयो अब मिटु से इङ्ग्लिस ल्याङ्ग्वेजमा हुन्छ होइन अब कतिजना नेपालीहरूलाई चाहिँ नेपालीमै बोल्नु पनि चाहिन्छ नि त त्यो हामीले चाहिँ मलाई लाग्छ चाहिँ हाम्रो मेन प्रब्लम इस्यु चाहिँ त्यहाँ कम्युनिकेसनको ठ्याक्कै त्यो एफिसियन्सी भएको छैन जस्तो लाग्यो त्यो चाहिने कुरा के अरे व्यक्त गर्न सकेको छैन अनि त्यति बेला भएको छ जस्तो लाग्यो प्रब्लम चाहिँ मेन
So only so limited language options are there.
अब मसँग यहाँ चाहिँ इङ्ग्लिसै हो होइन मेबी स्पेनिस पनि छ होला तर नेपालीवाला त मलाई थाहा छैन हौ यस्तो एप्सहरू चाहिँ हिन्दी
counseling service लिन पर्यो भने चाहिँ if there's a for instance someone who only speaks English as a counselor, I'm sure they can provide translation services simultaneously, because doctor offices like medical offices do offer that. Kaiser offers that, so I'm sure there are others who offer that as well. If it's a paid service or not, that's a different question, but there are resources there. Okay? I think we just need to kind of dig into those resources.
Yes.
And find people. I mean, the Nepali community within the United States is, growing and has grown exponentially in the past probably 2 decades, So there has to be, I'm not sure if psychology is a very, I think Nepal itself, Mapani psychology is a newer field. So, people who are aspiring to study, you hear, if there are 100 students that come in, right, 80 of them are computer science majors, right, and the rest 20 are engineering and doctors, right? So you don't really see a lot of like psychology majors because they think there's no, scope for them returning to Nepal. But I think now there is a lot more. So hopefully there are a lot more people out there who are studying and can offer those services to the community. That's it, I personally know someone here who is a psychologist, and she is from Nepal as well. I don't know exactly what she practices, but I can reach out to her and ask her and see. And then, of course, those other 3 that Pratik had mentioned. So I can definitely see if they would be willing to provide some kind of, help to the community, even if it's just opening doors and providing one or 2 sessions for free.
ओके कसैलाई हेल्पको लागि रिच आउट गरेर भने तपाईलाई म सम्पर्क गर्न सक्छु I can contact you for
Yes, definitely, sure.
Okay.